The 2008 Chippewa Valley Air Show wasn't your average gathering. With a fan base as diverse as the flying acts themselves, this show proved to offer something for just about anyone.
We figured out the attendance of people that came over the 2 days, and there was over 65,000 people that were here. And many of those people were from out of town, out of state. Anyone who was witness to the lines of cars coming in, I mean, they were from 5-6 state region coming to the show.
Thousands of visitors flooded the grounds of the Chippewa Valley Airport to sample an event that had been in the making for over 3 years. And why not? How often does the Chippewa Valley get a collection of rare and unique aircraft, fun activities for people of all ages, and one incredible, did I just see that, G-pushing air show of a lifetime?
We had the right people in place for this, and the performers are great. I mean, listening to a biplane, you know, doing loops and barrel rolls, and it's not only what you see, it's what you hear, it's what you feel. I mean, when those jet engines fire up and take off or fly over you, I mean, your whole body is just trembling.
With jet teams like the U.S. Navy FA-18 Super Hornets, F-16s, the United States Army Golden Knights, and a host of aerobatic and specialty acts, the show was no small endeavor. But even with all the variety, one act seemed to draw air show fans of all kinds.
I'm here to see the Blue Angels. Me too.
Blue Angels?
We came out to see the Blue Angels and the other aircraft today.
The United States Navy Blue Angels. As one of the world's most recognized military flight demonstration squadrons, the Angels drew crowds from near and far to watch the show and get a chance to meet some of aviation's most elite pilots.
Life is pretty good. You know, life's good. We're lucky enough to represent the Navy Marine Corps personnel who deploy throughout the world, and our goal is recruiting, is exposure. It's a very impressive format, which is gets a lot of publicity and a lot of spectators. It's one of the biggest spectator events in this country, and it's very cheap entertainment. It's enjoyable to come out and watch, and it's great to come out and see what your military can do.
Yep, and then we'll tip it up.
And then tip it up, you bet.
5 days before the show begins, the Chippewa Valley Airport is already teeming with activity. Coordinating the show's flying acts is one thing, but prepping the grounds to accommodate 65,000 plus fans is a challenge in itself.
First thing Monday morning, we closed down the runway. We closed down that runway, and immediately we're starting to mark off where the fences are going to be.
The volunteers that were out there, a lot of Boy Scouts were out there, a lot of the civic groups that were involved with the show came out that week.
While volunteers of all kinds contributed, the Boy Scouts of America were the backbone of this year's air show workforce. The Chippewa Valley Council was responsible for coordinating troops from throughout the region to build an air show city in just a few short days.
Well, we were the first Boy Scout Council to ever put on a Navy jet team air show. I think the skills of setting up camps and going out in the woods and coordinating those activities that the Scouts do really lends well to putting on an air show. And we were really blown away by what the Scouts were able to do there.
Over the next few days, the Boy Scouts and other area volunteers worked diligently. Parking arrangements, crowd line fences, chalet setup for concessions and other vendors, even a 5,000-foot artificial flight line that would guide jet team acts as they performed overhead. With some of the nation's top flying acts scheduled to arrive within a few days, this small community airport was about to go through some big changes. Three days before the show, and Heartland Aviation is still looking like business as usual. This small hub within the Chippewa Valley Airport is typically home to small commuter aircraft and aviation enthusiasts. Today marks the beginning of a weekend that will feature aircraft that are anything but typical.
The first of the Blue Angel jets arrives on Wednesday of Air Show Week, and that's the two-passenger jet, which then flies some VIPs as part of the promotion for the show.
But before any flights take place, the Blue Angels show narrator and events coordinator have their work cut out for them. Part of this is the media frenzy that goes with any large event like this year's air show.
Well, as soon as the pilots show up to, days beforehand to set their coordinates, people start flocking out to the airport and, trying to catch a glimpse of them and trying to have a word with them and whatever. And the press starts showing up then too, and that takes some coordination to make sure that they can be on the field, they're not going to get hit by a plane. Really, the pilot's time is more critical and less flexible. The media did a great job of supporting us and being there when we needed them.
As Blue Angels number 7 touches down, reporters, photographers, and camera crews are waiting and ready. Captain Frank Weiser emerges from his 2-seater FA-18 Super Hornet and immediately greets show coordinators and media members.
Morning, Frank. Good to see you. Good to see you again. How are you? Good to see you guys.
Welcome back. It's Air Show weekend. We're here at the Chippewa Valley Regional Airport, joined now by Lieutenant Frank Weiser. How are you doing out here?
In addition to speaking with local media, the Angels meet with the show's planning committee to make sure every detail is in place.
It says at the top here, name, role in Air Show, phone, fax, email. And when the show's over, I sell these lists to Microsoft and make a killing. So, personal email addresses are great.
It touched on everything that the Blue Angels need to support themselves, not only in the air but on the ground. Hotel rooms, rental cars, social events that were going to be going on. In addition to logistics to support them in the air, the various maintenance pieces of equipment and fuel, oil, those types of things. So we just had to coordinate. There was just an endless list of items to coordinate and make sure that we had to their satisfaction.
Within a day of the show's planning meeting, the rest of the Blue Angels crew arrives on schedule and ready to run an air show. This begins most noticeably with the arrival of Fat Albert Airlines.
Fat Albert lands and the gate comes down and people start pouring out of it and they start throwing gear out, and pretty soon there's a big pile of gear and there's 100 support staff standing around in blue flight suits and everybody's ready to go, and that's when you know you're going to have an air show.
This Lockheed Martin C-130T Hercules flies over 140,000 miles each show season. It carries over 40 maintenance and support personnel, in addition to any equipment and parts needed to successfully run the Blue Angels show. Fat Albert's arrival alludes to the impact this show team will bring to the airport over the next few days.
We identified this show site about a year ago, and we've been working with the show site for the last 9 months in prepping to get our requirements. We have a rather large footprint. We bring in 7 jets, plus a C-130 and 70 people. So it's kind of some towns it can be overwhelming, especially a smaller airfield. Our 7 jets might take up the ramp itself. Our C-130 right here is by far the biggest plane in the whole ramp out here.
Fat Albert's crew moves with clockwork precision as critical air show equipment and personnel are deployed throughout the showgrounds.
It's a very structured, very regimented, disciplined routine. Everything is choreographed or orchestrated, if you will, to look very precise, and it's to set the tone for the entire weekend for them.
By Thursday morning, the rest of the Blue Angels jet team has arrived, along with several other military acts.
Thursday, late morning, the Blues arrive, and it's like, this thing's really going to happen.
But as crews continue to unload into the afternoon, blue skies have given way to dark clouds. Not a good recipe for this air show.
Everything's planned, and you have control over all these things, except one, and that's the weather.